is SBF in jail?
Bro, he's the smartest person. He only got up to play chess. I didn't play him, but we spoke. I went to his bed and asked him for like legal advice. You know what I mean? And
is he the one to go to though? I mean, he's in there with you, right?
Yeah. So I went up to him to legal advice. He's like, "Yo, you're here for 45 days. Like, you ain't tripping."
You go sign away your life for a bunch of to fuck your girl. The first rule have always been self-preservation. The second rule have always been there's no honor amongst thieves. Like he the prime example. They fucked over that could fed everybody.
We only look at snitches and we only look at rats when people go to jail. You know what define me? A rat is somebody who do anything to save themselves. Was King Von a stand-up tall nigga?
King Von was a get busy nigga.
All right, so why was he lacking? Why was he lacking?
You know what?
Why was he lacking?
It doesn't matter. You missing, I don't understand.
So what
the point.
is King Von right now?
He's dead. But what's the point though?
All right then, so King Von is a solid nigga and he got killed, right? The nigga pulled out and put 5 in him, right? And he dead, right? So King Von died lacking.
You hurt my feelings. He rested.
King Von died lacking. Nipsey died lacking. Pop Smoke died lacking.
Right.
So niggas can't lack.
Everything I say, I mean it. 6ix9ine say he seen DC. They know King Von a demon. What called that boy a name?
Hey, Tekashi, why do you say facts so much in your interviews?
But like I said, bro, I just don't like the fact that people ignore all these facts. Like, people don't like facts, bro. No, but why you think people don't like facts?
I don't know, bro.
I don't address nothing. I'm never gonna address nothing. Y'all believe what y'all wanna believe. That's a half a ticket right there.
6 days. That's all it took for this story to go from tragic to disturbing. On August 17th, a young woman close to one of hip-hop's most controversial figures was gunned down in broad daylight. And before the shock could even settle, the same rapper was suddenly back behind bars. The timing was so wild that fans immediately started connecting dots that no one in power was willing to touch. Was it coincidence? Or was this the moment everything finally caught up? Because once you look at the history, the patterns, and the people involved, it stops feeling random real quick. And to understand why, you have to start with the morning everything changed. August 17th, 2025 started like any other morning in New York. Rush hour traffic, people heading to work, life moving fast. But on the Cross County Parkway in Mount Vernon, that routine was shattered. Inside a black Mercedes-Benz G-Class, 33-year-old Ariela Langosta Mea Polano was found slumped in the driver's seat. Her windows were blown out. The doors were riddled with bullet holes. Investigators later confirmed she had been struck multiple times. This wasn't a robbery. This wasn't random. Police quickly labeled it an orchestrated attack. Ariela had just finished her shift at a Manhattan lounge, working hard, doing what she always did, making money, taking care of her 2 daughters, and building a life. She wasn't hiding. She wasn't running. She was just driving home. And yet, someone was waiting. The brutality of the scene sent shockwaves through the city, especially within the Dominican community that knew her well. Friends described her as someone who lit up every room, a woman with a smile that stayed with you long after she walked away. And then, just like that, she was gone. But what made this tragedy explode online wasn't just how she died. It was who she was connected to. Ariela wasn't a random influencer. She wasn't just another face on social media. She was close to 6ix9ine. The two had history. She appeared in his 223 UAI music video. She performed alongside him at New York venues. Photos and videos showed them laughing, celebrating, moving together like family. Some called her his girlfriend. Others said she was a close friend, but the label didn't matter. What mattered was proximity. Because when you're close to someone like 6ix9ine, the spotlight doesn't just shine, it burns. The internet reacted instantly. Harsh words, but words that came from years of watching chaos follow one man everywhere he went. And that chaos didn't start in 25, it started years earlier, the moment he chose a path that street culture never forgives. Back in 2018, Daniel Hernandez was facing life. Federal prosecutors hit him with racketeering charges tied to the 9 Trey Gangsta Bloods. We're talking firearms offenses, violent conspiracies, and alleged involvement in serious street activity. The kind of charges that don't end with a slap on the wrist. He had 2 options: fight it or cooperate. He chose the second. In January 2019, 6ix9ine pleaded guilty and agreed to work with the feds. What followed was one of the most infamous cooperation cases in hip-hop history. He didn't just talk. He named names, explained structure, confirmed crimes for 3 days straight. In court, he testified against people who once protected him, funded him, and surrounded him. But on the streets, they called it unforgivable. Federal officials warned him back then that his life would never be the same, that safety would become a daily concern, that the people around him would always be at risk, and that warning aged like prophecy. Because violence didn't stop once he got out. It just changed who it touched. When police confirmed Ariela's killing wasn't random, the internet filled in the silence. One theory spread faster than any other. Retaliation. The idea was simple. You don't always hit the target. Sometimes you hit what's close to them. People pointed to 6ix9ine's cooperation. The enemies he made? The grudges that don't expire. In street logic, time doesn't erase betrayal. But there was another layer. Reports surfaced that Ariela may have also been linked to another man described online as gang-connected. That individual was questioned after her death, though no charges were filed. So now the theories split. Was this about 6ix9ine, or was it about something else entirely? With no arrests announced and multiple agencies involved, the uncertainty only made the speculation louder. And then, just when the story seemed frozen, everything shifted again. August 23, 2025, 6 days after Ariela was found gunned down, 6ix9ine was arrested. Not for the murder, not for anything connected to her case, at least officially. He was taken into custody for violating the terms of his supervised release. But the timing, that's what stopped people cold. Footage surfaced of him behind bars, looking shaken. Gone was the loud, trolling energy. In its place was silence. The violations themselves were serious. He traveled to Las Vegas to perform without permission. He allegedly lied to his probation officer about it. He failed multiple drug tests, and he missed a mandatory screening altogether. 3 strikes. In federal court, that's more than enough. He was ordered held until a November hearing, placed in a detention facility housing high-profile inmates. Some saw it as punishment, others saw it as protection. Because here's the question no one could ignore. Why now? Why bring him in days after someone close to him was executed? And that question only grew louder when people looked back at the trail of violence that followed him for years. This wasn't the first time danger surrounded 6ix9ine. In 2023, he was brutally attacked in a gym bathroom. Surveillance footage showed him beaten while security stood helplessly outside. Threats have followed him across states. Security details became necessary just for daily movement. Entire neighborhoods would shut down when he appeared. But notice something. Most of the time, he survives. It's the people around him who don't. Friends, associates, women. And that's where this story gets even darker. Long before Ariela's name made headlines, other women were already speaking out. Former partners described volatile relationships marked by control, fear, and repeated incidents of alleged harm. In federal documents, 6ix9ine himself admitted to years of domestic issues. That admission wasn't gossip. It was part of a legal agreement. Over time, multiple relationships ended in police involvement, restraining orders, and lawsuits. Some partners defended him publicly, then reversed their stance later. Others stayed silent for years before finally telling their side. The details varied, but the pattern didn't. Power, control, chaos. And in several cases, women close to him found themselves isolated, threatened, or publicly humiliated when relationships collapsed. That doesn't make him responsible for Ariela's death, but it adds context. Because when someone repeatedly leaves destruction in their personal life, people start asking whether tragedy is coincidence or consequence. After Ariela's death, 6ix9ine posted emotional tributes online. He called her the Queen of New York, said she supported him through everything, posted music they loved together. For once, the trolling stopped. And then he went quiet. No posts, no rants, no chaos. Just days later, he was in custody. Some believe authorities had been watching him closely since the shooting, waiting for any slip, any reason to remove him from the streets. Others believe the arrest was purely procedural, badly timed, and unrelated. There is no official evidence tying 6ix9ine to Ariela's death. None. And that matters. But here's what also matters. A woman close to him was executed. Police say it wasn't random. He has a documented history of putting himself and others in danger. And he was locked up days later. That combination doesn't prove guilt, but it demands questions. Because whether through street politics, personal choices, or unresolved grudges, being close to him has repeatedly come with consequences. And Ariella paid the highest price. This story isn't just about snitching. It's not just about fame, and it's not just about one arrest. It's about patterns people ignored for years. A man who betrays allies. A man surrounded by violence. A man whose lifestyle puts everyone near him at risk. Ariella didn't deserve this. Her daughters didn't deserve this. And no amount of internet speculation will bring her back. But until answers come, the streets will keep asking the same question. Was this tragedy unavoidable, or was it the final consequence of a life built on chaos? Because sometimes, the danger isn't the person pulling the trigger. It's standing too close to the one everyone's aiming at.